Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Gluttons for Geekdom Live. My name is Nick James, and today we are talking about the man who kicks ass himself, Kickass. Captain Kickass. Awesome Kickass. So let's go through the comic first because this is so easy to kind of like clump together. It's because it all came from the same person. Sorry, I should have gotten this done. Icon Marvel printed all of these, and Mark Millar and John Romita Jr. So let's go through. So what do I got here? They're all in order. We start off with Kick-Ass, the first one. Awesomeness came out between February of '08 and February 2010. Just an original story. Something that like I've never seen before, haven't really seen since. And from what I've read, a lot of the creators went into this. So a lot of the creators' own ideas went into this. Whereas Mark Millar was saying, you know, when I was too old to be talking about this still, I was talking about why does everybody want to be Paris Hilton and not Spider-Man? At the time, it probably wasn't the same name. Freaking phenomenal, the first one. Now, they're all really good, but the first one, I mean, because of, I didn't see anything like that before or anything like that, it is just so good. The pencils are done, John Romita Jr., and like I said, if you don't know him and his father in this work, Gluttons for Geekdom might not be the page for you. You should know John Romita Jr. and Sr., just out of respect for everything that they've given us, more so than even just what I'm talking about now. Let's not get too far into that. The inker was Tom Palmer, and the colorist was Dean White. And again, if you go through it, I'm going to pick that back up just so you can see. Gorgeous. I mean, everything about this flows and looks beautiful. I mean, look at the coloring on that freaking Hit Girl. The lines are crisp. It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous all the way around, and I could watch it, read it, look at it all day. Now, what I'm going to do is we're going to go into how it's actually... This is technically, in canon, the third book, but this is what you're supposed to read before you read number 2. Now, this and this, Kick-Ass 2 and this, and the Hit Girl, this is basically the movie Kick-Ass 2, if you haven't seen it. There's a lot that comes from this, a lot that comes from both. Luckily, there's some few things in here that I won't spoil, but if you haven't read this book and you've seen Kick-Ass 2 and you're like, I should already know, read the book. There is some different stuff in here, some upsetting stuff in here. It's kind of gross. So that came out March 2012 is by the time that one finished. And then we went on to the number 3, the finale. Again, what a freaking read. I mean, I absolutely devoured these. I'm trying to find the page I had saved. I absolutely devoured these books. I went through one after the other, after the other, after the other. Just boom, 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 boom. And I was lucky enough to do that. So the first movie came out on 4/16/2010. So it's April 16th. And it did great numbers. Compared to what they put in to make it, both movies have done financially very well. Maybe not very well, but well enough that I really can't believe that a third one hasn't been put into works yet. Like, that's freaking crazy. We really need to get on that because Aaron Taylor Johnson plays Dave Lazowski as if, like, that's him. You know, and I'm the type of guy, you know, we know him from that. We know him, you did not see that's coming. He was Quicksilver, and now I even want him for a new Hal Stewart. Hal Jordan, John Stewart. So I would think that would be great. So the movie came out, and like I said, Aaron Taylor Johnson plays the role. We got Nicolas Cage in there. Now, I'm not a huge Cage fan. I really can't stand to watch him, but he does this role beautifully. I won't give away the flip of the first one, but I'll talk about him in this one, where he's a true badass, but the way he talks is by watching this guy almost. If you watch his performance, he's somewhere in between an Adam West and a weird Kirk in the way that he talks, and he wants to get back to the cave now. And this is his way of, I know how to do all the badass stuff, but I don't know how to do the comic book stuff. So he latches onto the things that he knows. So I think there's a big Batman 66, and definitely 100% there is some Captain T. Kirk inside of Big Daddy. And again, because of the way he talks. Chloe Grace Moretz gets his daughter Mindy's role, Hit Girl. And if you don't know anything about Hit Girl, she is the most badass character ever. In the first one, you get this song by the Dickies. They redo Banana Splits, and you might know, la 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 la. And that scene where she is going around destroying those gang members is by far one of the best things. And this brings me on to another point, you know, and no offense, you know, this is an R-rated movie by a freaking studio that does comics, and yet all we do is talk about how great his R movie is. And it really goes overlooked. It's perfect. Both of them are perfect. And this has to be, if not a better sequel than the original, inches are separating it. And that's hard. Not only is that hard, but that's hard for me to admit because the sequel is never as good as the original. This one somehow did it. So to go through the first one, Christopher Mintz-Plasse. His father is a crime lord. Oh, what was his name? Mark Strong. Excuse me for forgetting that for a second. Mark Strong is a bad guy, and he's a coke dealer, pretty much. I mean, it seems, I'm not sure if he's specifically on coke, but the only thing they mention the whole time is cocaine. So I think he's a coke dealer. And he figures out a good way how to get Kickass in cahoots with him, and that's by being at his own. So his own superhero. So he is the Red Mist, and he gets them because Big Daddy is really going around. Nicolas Cage and Chloe Grace Moretz are going around destroying his business for a deeper seed purpose. But again, watch the movie. I can't go through the whole thing with you. But by the end, it's beautiful and it's done correctly, and you don't care that the movie and the comic aren't shot. It's not a shot-for-shot remake, so just be happy with that. I never want to see a shot-for-shot remake of any comic book into a movie. Why? Because I have the comic book. I know that. That's why when everybody's like, that's not how they did it in the comics, about all these other comic books, it's like, good. I want to see something different. If not, I already freaking paid. Why am I going to pay to see the same thing done with live action? That's always how I felt. Now, in the second one, like I said, it gets better. The only person that we miss, and something I want to touch on really quick, is Evan Peters doesn't come back. Now you're saying Evan Peters, Taylor Johnson, you did not see that's coming, and sweet dreams are made of these. That's right, they're both Quicksilver. It's awesome. I posted a thing about that. Make sure to check us out on Facebook. If you're not already there through this Facebook Live, I'll do all the plugging first. Instagram. We are Gluttons for Geekdom. Twitter, Gluttonous Geeks. You can email us at Gluttons of Geekdom or go to YouTube. Our YouTube channel has everything. That's where we hub all of these videos. All of our podcasts are on there. All future podcasts are on there. Go to YouTube. YouTube's really our main shit right now. Now let's go back into Kickass 2. We don't get him. No. Oh, excuse me. Augustus. Some kid Augustus gets the role instead, and he becomes the ass kicker. Meanwhile, Clark Duke keeps his role of the friend the whole time, and he even becomes battle guy. Colonel Stars and Straps. That's two characters. If you read Kickass 2, there's a Colonel Stars and a something Straps. I can't remember. Excuse me. They combined those into one person for the movie. That was played by Jim Carrey, and it's beautiful. It is perfect. So one of their first big drug busts, they go in to take down somebody who's making money off the sex slave industry of children. And he goes in and, you know, like anybody would, he wants to beat the hell out of these guys, and they do. And again, the song in that, you know, like I said, the Dickies Banana Splits, this one is just, ba-da-da-da, la-la-la-la-la. It's when the Saints come marching in, but it's literally just like a group of guys, ba-da-da-da. And just the action with the bats and everybody's doing their thing. Fantastic. This movie also brings us something straight out of the comic, which is glorious. You know, like I said, it's not a shot for shot, but they did take a panel of all the good guys walking down the street, and they freaking delivered that. So that to me is like something else I want to get into. And go to the YouTube or Podbean, listen to our real life superhero episode, because if you've seen the show, it's on YouTube, period. It was on HBO when I first watched it, and it was by the same name, Real Life Superheroes, and it had all these people, and so much of that footage was either grafted or remade for the Kickass. Like, there's this great scene where it's, you know, you just come home, throw on your gear, and you go out on patrol, you know, you kiss your girlfriend goodbye, and do you have a girlfriend? Oh, I was just talking, you know, just saying. That's all from a documentary called Real Life Superheroes. Go and check it out, because it's awesome. You know, you do have real life guys running around in capes and masks and stuff like that. Something I'd never do because of the obvious reason of what this movie brings up, and I would get my ass kicked. I would absolutely love to walk around in one of these and tell people, hey, you know, you're not doing what you're supposed to. But this first sign of a fight, like where somebody's like, or what? I'd be like, nothing. Like, I don't have it in me to be a superhero. Not like that, because I just can't take a good beating. You know, it's happened. I don't like it. I don't want to go through it again. So I will never be the superhero behind this masks. Just so you know. Let's really first, I wanted to talk about Matthew Vaughn got the first one. Matthew Vaughn, if you don't know, he got X-Men First Class, and he also did the Kingsman movie. So he's been doing very well, but he let this one go to Jeff Waldo. And if you don't know, he might be getting the new X-Force movie coming out. And if he doesn't get that, he's also in slate to do the I Have the Power the Masters of the Guardians, or the Guardians of the Galaxy, or not the Guardians, the Masters of the Universe. Gosh, excuse me. That will be tits. So both of these guys, we've seen them do both great movies. They keep going forward. They keep impressing. So Matt Vaughn and Jeff Waldo, please feed me, you know, like Dak before he lost to the fucking Green Bay Packers. Just feed me, guys. Just keep spoon feeding me this awesome work. I want a Kick-Ass 3. Go out and buy Kick-Ass, Kick-Ass 2, Kick-Ass 3, Kick-Ass 2.5, the Hit Girl Special, because that one really is the best. All awesome. Nobody's paying me to say this, so you know that, you know, you could trust me a little bit more than somebody who's getting paid, but it's fantastic. Great writing. John Romita Jr., great, delicious panels for us. I have been Nick James, like I said, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, Facebook. Come to my house for all I care. Let's talk some more gluttonous stuff. See me tomorrow. If you haven't noticed, too, it's 5/11. I'm a little bit off. I just started school today. That's right. I'm back in college trying to get a degree so I could do this professionally. I have no promise times on Gluttons for Geekdom. 4:30, 5 o'clock, 5:30. I don't know. I'm going to still try to do it. If not, I am going to try to get my YouTube game up going a little bit harder and maybe pre-record these. But I like live. But as you've seen on this one, and no judgment to anybody, but nobody really showed up live. It's after the live happens that I'm getting some viewers and some comments and some awesomeness. So I might just switch over to YouTube. I don't know. Until then, Nick James, Gluttons for Geekdom Live. Always remember the spirit fingers. See you tomorrow.